Okay, so now it's time to escape from Brule. And given the intro card right here, it does not seem like it's going to be a very easy escape.
Isara, Martha.
Yeah, so Welkin's not having the best day today. Not great. That probably doesn't make it any better. At the very least, he looks for a weapon at first.
What's her problem? She pregnant or just fat?
You know, you could make the enemy a little bit more sympathetic. Also, evil Steve Bloom.
See what she's wearing? Take a good look at that shoulder.
It looks really nice, doesn't it?
And that explains it. I thought this place stunk. Now I know it does.
Fantasy racism.
We got ourselves a fat one and a stinky one. PU. It's a regular pig farm in here.
Yeah. Get used to that being a constant thing brought up in this game.
I will thank you to watch your tongue in this.
But at least Isara's not putting up with any of this shit. I like Isara. Isara's cool.
For such a little girl. Drop it.
Makes me really feel like an asshole for bringing up that whole brother-sister thing in the last episode. But damn, Wilkins badass. Uses a freaking fence post. Yeah, well, you have a bullet in your chest, so suck it.
Isara, are you okay?
Apparently I was very out of left field because unlike a lot of animes, Isara does not fall into that category
This isn't good.
of harboring feelings for
She's
Welkin.
gone into labor. Moving her would be
So,
dangerous.
that was a shitty thing for me to say.
Well,
But let's move on.
can't just leave her here. What are we gonna
Meanwhile, we have a pregnant woman and a bunch of soldiers invading a town and a pregnant woman who's going into labor, no
do
less.
before they take over the
It's not great. Not awesome.
Welks, listen. The barn out back.
What about it?
Our fathers have left us something. Something that might get us out of this mess.
Is it a tank? I hope it's a tank. Yeah, it's a tank. Hey, Welks, look! We got a tank in our barn! Yeah, sweet. That's a pretty good inheritance.
Whoa, I can't believe it's still here.
And it's one of a kind. Here it is. The Edelweiss. Tamer built
That's a
this.
good name for a tank. Very ironic, though,
Great, too.
if you're familiar with the movie The Sound of Music.
Here in the barn?
Because, the ending song in that movie, whenever there's, escaping from the Nazis, is Edelweiss, soft and white. Edelweiss, you look lovely to me.
I wanted to be able to do what my father could do.
But here, the Edelweiss is a fucking
That's
tank.
only a class, Isara.
So not really soft and white.
Not much. Hardly any alterations at all. I just fitted it with a new turbine engine. It really improves on the power to weight ratio.
So Isara is super awesome and
Edelweiss is
badass.
field-worthy. Its firepower and mobility are more than a match for recent models.
Well, assuming it does work. What's next?
We go blow up some Imperial dickheads.
You took the armored vehicle course, didn't you?
Yeah. Back in high school. Once.
Then you're gonna be a natural.
She'll be safe inside the tank.
Welkin, high school kids win wars all the time. You got this.
Leave the driving to me, okay? All you have to do is give the orders.
Isara, we ready to roll?
Engaging engine.
Yeah, all that shaking's probably not good for the pregnant woman in labor. Probably not great.
Out there dodging bullets, buying time for people to evacuate. Here's the plan. We're gonna pick up Alicia and get out of town.
And if we kill any Imperials, good. Also, pick up some more of that bread, because we wasted it last time. Those damn Imperials knocked over all our bread and made it go bad. Bastards. Yeah, I'm sure a tank is the best place for a woman, very into labor. I'm sure, heavy mortar and, anti-armor rounds are really going to be good for the baby. Anyway, let's see how Alicia's doing.
This operation.
So Alicia's team is not doing that great. And for this mission, you don't get to use the tank until the 3rd turn. So pretty much it's just gonna be Alicia and 2 other town watchmen holding off a fucking tank and shock troopers and other scouts. Shock troopers are one of my favorite units in this game, and we're going to get a lot more information on the rest of the types of classes in this game later on in the video. But shock troopers are my favorites. They use submachine guns,
We've got to
and they
stop
do
them.
heavy damage to infantry.
If this gate falls, there's going to be even more casualties among the townspeople. The town watch will defend this gate so as many people as possible can get away.
I mean, we only have rifles and maybe a grenade or two, but
Got a second?
I'm sure we can handle a
Listen
fucking
close and I'll
tank.
explain.
So yay, now we get grenades. Although Alicia's the only one who decided to bring some. I would have advised everybody bring at least 1 grenade, but no, Alicia's the only one who brought grenades. Okay, grenades are good against infantry and blowing up sandbags to get rid of their cover. They're not exactly your way to deal with anti-tank. They are not your anti-tank weapon. So, as I mentioned in the previous episode, it's very viable to actually skip your first turn to be able to get some more command points. Especially considering you can't do much against the tank right now, and the tank's gonna more or less ignore your units. Even though it is shown that it has mortar fire and can easily blow apart your infantry. But right now it's just gonna focus on the bridge, on the gate. However, those infantry get the shit shot out of them by our scouts. So at the very least, we can kind of pick off a few Imperial scouts before they do too much damage to the gate itself. And we're doing pretty good against the Imperials so far, with the exception of the tank, but that'll be resolved sooner or later. Shock troopers might not be as accurate as scouts, but they can do a shit ton of damage and they can shoot a lot of bullets considering they have machine guns. Again, they're one of my favorite classes in this game. And we took out one of their captains. Not bad for not doing anything on our first turn. Not a bad start to this mission. Now it's going to go over Ragnade, which is another form of Ragnite. Basically, this is your healing item. Pretty self-explanatory. If you want to heal somebody, just put the cursor over them while you're holding the Ragnade. If you just want to heal yourself, aim away and target nobody. Again, I'm going to skip this turn, because on the next turn, we get Welkin and his tank to clear up the rest of the Imperials. But for now, we just have to watch the gate get the shit shot out of it.
No! If this keeps up...
And also, these shock troopers can use their hand grenades to start attacking the gate as well. But you don't really have to worry about the gate breaking down, at least not on this difficulty. And it's a good thing Alicia managed to use this handbag. She's a pretty good shot. But then again, that's to be expected of scouts. That shock trooper had a little better aim than his buddy did. But not to worry. Every turn, our units recover a little bit of health. And now Welkin and the Edelweiss have shown up to kick some ass.
Entering combat.
The tank should be able to breach that wall. It may provide
So if it wasn't entirely obvious, tanks are super awesome in this game.
Let's give it a shot. Hang in there, Alicia.
And they knock down walls. And they can pretty much anti-everything. It's got kind of an answer to every single situation. It has anti-tank rounds. It has mortar rounds for lots of enemy enemy infantry. And it also has a bit of a mounted turret for enemies who are too close for a mortar round. And also running over people with tank treads is also an additionally good idea, as I'll soon show off. Yeah, right now I'm looking around because, as I mentioned in the first episode, I'm going for all the enemy aces as well. And one of them is hidden down that alley near those trees. We can't get him with the Edelweiss right now, but we will with Alicia on this same turn. Yeah, now they're scared.
Alicia, I'm sorry we're late.
I got a tank, by the way.
Welkin, you have a tank?
Were you lying about being a huge nerd?
We can talk later. Right now, we need to stop those soldiers.
Welkin, the nature enthusiast, also tank commander.
Switching to anti-tank combat. Armor-piercing shell.
Tank police. Feel the power that we got.
All right,
Tank
let's go
police.
take it down.
We'll give it our best shot. Now, as I already mentioned, we have 3 means of attack with our tank. But right now, since these assholes are all huddled around, not seeing the obvious tank roll up, we're gonna blast them to Kingdom Come with a fucking mortar round. But the ammunition is limited. And bye-bye. I like the ragdoll. I like the ragdoll physics in this relatively serious anime war game. So you gotta focus on protecting your treads and the body of the tank itself. And also, as I mentioned in the last episode, the blue radiator on the back of the tank is its weak point, as well as its power source. So, watch your ass. Watch your tank's ass. And also, what's this guy think he's gonna do against a tank?
Entering combat.
Let's show him what treads are for. Yeah, there we go. And fortunately, the radiator weakness goes for both sides.
Now.
So that does heavy damage to their little tank. But now I believe it's time for Alicia to go to work.
Moving out.
Fortunately, Alicia's pretty good at dodging, at least right now. Now it's time to go find that enemy ace. As I mentioned, he's not near those trees. I was mistaken. It's by the next pair of trees over there where the Edelweiss was.
Moving out.
He's near those 3 trees. Right there.
Spotted.
He can do some pretty decent damage, but one hand grenade should deal with him pretty quickly. A little overkill, but screw him. And there you go. Enemy ace dead. So now at the end of the battle, we'll get a special little surprise.
Here we go.
But in the meantime, time to blow their tank to hell. Right up the ass. Boom. Yeah, you're done. That one shock trooper's gonna be like,
Yes, we stopped it. Nice work, East.
Woohoo! Now you're my hero, Welkin.
Stop staring at my tank. I know it's awesome.
Imperials are running off for now. Looks like we bought some time at least.
Yeah, but the problem is... Now you might think, hey, we won the day. We saved Brule. No.
Martha had a boy.
See, the thing about the Imperial thing is... They're an army.
Dad's tank?
An empire, if you will.
Yes.
Also, Martha gave birth to a baby in a tank.
They're both perfectly healthy.
So now that baby has the coolest birth story ever. I was born in a tank. You were just born in a hospital.
Sharp as we head out of town.
I was born in the fields of war. That's the most badass baby ever. So we get a nice little amount of ducats and experience. Also, since we killed the enemy ace, we get a brand new rifle for our scouts. I don't use it, because a few of the ace weapons are not that great. Not that great. Also, the mill is blown to hell.
2 hours after the first shots were fired, Brule was under Imperial control.
Yet one tank does not stop an army.
Though a mere skirmish by Empire standards, the raid on Brule would mark Welkin Gunther's first taste of battle and begin his rise to a Gallian hero.
So now it's time for Welkin, Martha, Isara, and Alicia to kind of get out of town with their tank.
Alicia.
So I guess you're not much of a town watchman anymore now, are you?
I knew war meant this might happen.
Yeah.
It hurts. Seeing my town overrun like this, seeing all those people killed, it's just not right. How could all this happen? It isn't human, Welkin.
Yeah. War's kind of a shitty thing. Anime or not, war is not great.
Those birds and see how wild and free they are. But they all have their own territories. If anything threatens their home, they'll risk their lives to defend it.
Even against a tank?
We're animals too. We do what we have to when we have to. Animals are in a constant struggle to stay alive, but I've also seen them help each other, almost like they were cooperating in order to survive.
Cooperating?
That's why I'm so into studying natural science. That coexistence. I want to know how it works. If we could figure that out, mankind could put it to use for our own survival.
I think mankind kind of understands the concept of cooperation there, Welkin.
That I can pass that knowledge on to the children.
But still, good on you.
I mean, even if we can't completely eliminate war, at least we might learn to live together as one people.
You think so?
I don't know, the Imperials seem kind of like dicks so far.
Martha fell asleep, so that makes me the babysitter. See, Alicia?
But hey, baby.
Oh, he's adorable.
He was just born and he already has tinnitus.
Even in war, new life happens all around us. Come here. Look, that's your hometown.
It's on fire, baby.
Someday, we'll come back home.
How fucked up is that, Welkin?
Yes.
Look, baby. Look at the scorched remains of your home. Look at all the people burning alive.
Chapter
Why are you crying, young infant?
Warfare.
Look, that's your home. Oh.
In March of 1935, the Empire began its invasion across Gallia's eastern border. Maximilian, commander of the Gallian invasion,
Maximilian?
built
But that dude makes so many good fighting game videos.
Irlendio and the other fortresses along
What the hell has Yo video games done to the world? Why, Max? Why? And now you just see Benny in a fucking tank,
2 hours
just rolling over people.
villages in the Empire's path, and the road to the capital bore a
Thank you, dudes, for your little tiny village. I'm gonna turn it into a fighting game arcade.
Gallia's capital, a town secure and stable since ancient times. Within its walls stood the castle Randgrease, and within its unicorn spire resided Cordelia, Gallia's princess.
I'm getting a bit of an Attack on Titan feel here. Either that or Berserk.
Supporting Gallia's policy of neutrality was a system of universal conscription.
Time for the draft. Everybody likes the draft.
All schools required military training each year. In the event of a war, citizens were then drafted.
Which is why the sequel on the PSP takes place in school. In a high school for war. Where children are soldiers. And everything goes back to the status quo of teenagers being the ones to save the world. But hey, Welkin and Alicia show up in that game too, so there are some adults. But enough about the sequel. Maybe I'll do that one day, but right now, first one. Welkin's just getting adjusted to his whole new office, I guess.
My uniform.
He's got butterflies in his office.
Get changed before reporting in.
In his quarters.
Get ready now.
There you go, Welkin. Looking pretty good.
Flares, binoculars, a compass, and a map.
And a little hat.
Everything you need for a nice hike. Or combat.
I just realized my entire hometown got burned to the ground. Oh well. No need to be a grumpy Gus over it.
Oh, you're already changed too.
There you go.
Let's see. Not bad.
Not sure what the little cloth thing in the front is for, or what the little tie is for, but overall it's a nice looking uniform.
How about me? Do I look all right in this?
Also, I'm not sure that the bonnet is like standard uniform, is like standard issued military uniform.
Fine. You wear it like a pro.
Really? You're not just saying that?
Of course not. You look tough. I like it.
You look like a hottie.
Oh, good. I was worried it looked kind of silly.
Does it really matter if you look silly? This is war.
No way. That plating on the back, it's like a coleopterate exoskeleton. Beetle-tastic.
Smooth, Welkin. Smooth.
Colio what? And did you just say beetle? Welkin? What kind of girl wants to hear that she looks like a bug?
I'm gonna try that next time I go up to a girl.
Bug.
You look like a super cool beetle.
King of the insects.
Ow.
Who wouldn't want that?
Huh.
Rhino beetles make the coolest common riders.
Take that as a very Welkin sort of
Have you seen O's? Gatakiba is the best one.
You've been wearing it since I met you.
Is it really a scarf if it's not around your neck?
My uniform from the bakery.
Is that right?
I don't want to forget the time I spent busting my buns baking.
Puns.
I plan to keep wearing it until I can get back to manning the ovens again.
No matter what my CO says.
That's great. Once you do, I'll be first in line to get some of that bread.
Gotta add a little bit of levity to the war.
Well, I'll be sure to have plenty of it ready and waiting for you.
Aww.
Absolutely. Hey, if you're ready, we should probably go see the captain now.
The building blocks to a budding romance.
Come in. Excuse me, ma'am.
I wonder which one is the other hero character.
Galleon Militia Enlistee Welkin Gunther, reporting for duty.
Ma'am, Galleon Militia Enlistee Alicia Melchiot, also reporting for duty.
I'm Captain Eleanor Verrat.
Verrat's super cool. I like Verrat.
Gunther, you're promoted to lieutenant. You'll be leader of Squad 7 now.
Cause you brought your own tank. Good job.
Melchiot, you're promoted to sergeant. You'll be under the lieutenant's command. Understood?
Ma'am.
First day on the job and already.
What do you know? It is you.
Look, it's Travis Touchdown again.
Valdio?
But he's not dead.
I had no idea that you'd enlisted. Yep. Now that
Or
there's
Kazuhiro
something
Miller.
going on
Take your
outside,
pick.
pretty much all
They're
the
both
others
basically the
are
same character.
Just like you.
You know each other.
Yes, ma'am. We knew each other at university. Welcome was in science and I was in archaeology. And just look at us now. No archaeology or science. Looks like the two of us are studying war, I guess.
Looks that way. It's good to see you.
And you.
Yeah!
That'll be all for now. There's a strategy briefing later today.
They're doing a fucking Predator handshake thing.
Catch up.
Faldio, you son of a bitch!
Post
Bam!
and Breeze. They'll be your new home. So get to know them. That'll be all. Report back in time for the briefing. Until then, you're dismissed.
Alright, now it's time to go over the basics of the headquarters tab. Let's look over our main units. We got Rosie, Largo, Alicia, and Welkin. These are our leader characters. We'll meet up with Rosie and Largo later. Also, here's the rifle that we got from the Ace. It's got better damage, but crappier range. So I don't use it. The command room, one of my favorite parts of the game.
It's good to see you.
This is where you recruit
Welcome.
new units into your army,
This is
or
the
into your
plan.
squad.
Use it to structure your squad. You will have access to both drafted and volunteer recruits. Now that I think of it, Squad 7 is still short on soldiers, isn't
So
it?
now Virat's going to go over what the classes are in the game. And I'll throw in my 2 cents here and there.
The recruits have all been assigned classes based on their talents. I should probably touch on the 5 classes, just so we're clear. First off, you have the scouts.
Scouts are basically
The
Alicia.
name suggests they'll be your eyes.
They're fast and they can't do much damage, but they're good at looking over all the whole map.
Collect intel, then make it back safely. That, and a keen eye for enemies. A good scout can spot a man in tall grass from 100 yards. That comes at the price of firepower. Their job is spotting enemies, not taking them out.
I don't know, Welkin shot a few dudes in the face pretty well.
Next up, the shock troopers.
Shock troopers are my favorite.
They're the ones to break through enemy lines and clean up. They offer excellent offense and defense. As far as combat goes, they're as good as it
But they
gets.
have half the AP that scouts do,
While
so
they
they can't
offer
run that far.
specialized techniques, they also don't have any obvious shortcomings. Think of them as the least finicky unit in your squad.
But overall, they're pretty good.
After them, we have lancers, then anti-tank units.
The dudes with the
They're
big-ass
quick
rocket
to target
launchers
targets.
that look like lances.
Their purpose is pretty self-explanatory. In most cases, they're the only way to stop a tank.
And occasionally, and later on, they'll be able to get a way to handle
Explosives, which can
standard
greatly
infantry
improve
units.
tank mortars. Sadly, they're slow and weak to gunfire. Their limited ammo could also be called a drawback.
Running out of ammo would be a drawback, wouldn't it?
We have the engineers.
They're your support unit.
They handle supplies and perform combat support. They can restock other units' ammunitions, treat the wounded, even repair tanks on site. They can place sandbags for cover, disarm mines, repair towers, you name it. Their actual combat skills are very low. Think of them as combat facilities.
They're okay.
Lastly, we have the snipers.
Which I do not use that
Shooting
much, to my
targets from a
knowledge.
considerable distance.
I never really play with snipers in
Soldiers with
most
marksmanship knowledge.
shooting
They can
games.
hit targets I can barely see. Sniping rifles also
Mainly because they give up their mobility in terms of, and just for range of their shots.
Drawbacks include
And also in the sequel, they're a promotion for your scouts, I believe.
that should cover the basics. Go ahead and put a squad together now.
So now comes one of my favorite parts of the game.
And you can
Putting
swap
together
units at any
a
time.
squad of individual units. There's a bunch of enlistees who all have a certain class associated with them. I picked Susie here,
Susie Evans.
mainly because she's a character in one of the DLCs.
But I'll do all I can.
And then Ica from Skies of Arcadia.
I'm Ika Thompson. I'll try my best.
Oh, Ica's awesome. So wait, if Ike is here, then I think you know who else is here. It's Vice Engelbard!
Name's Vice Engelbard. Let's go kick this war.
Ah! Vice is so cool!
I'm Wendy Cheslock.
From now on, Vice is the hero of the game. Screw Welkin. Vice is our guy. And he's voiced by Roger Craig Smith.
Nelson, perhaps you've heard of me.
And Edie is also the main character of one of the DLCs. But forget about her. Vice. Vice all the way. I could not have gotten the best units if I tried. And yay, Jan's here.
Walker, I'll fight with everything I've got.
I love Jan. Jan's cool. He's voiced by John DiMaggio.
Niels Darden.
And then we have Niels Darden. He's Steve Bloom. And then this guy for his awesome hair.
Hey, the old boar here. Remember the name, boss man.
And then we have Hector Calvi.
My name's Hector Cal.
Quentin Flynn!
I'm at your service from today on.
Yeah! Not only do we have Travis Touchdown, but we also have Henry Cooldown.
I'm Homer Perron. Here to
Let's
fight
throw in
for
another
freedom
character from the DLC.
Till this war claims my life.
Hello, sir. My name is.
There is no racism aboard the Squad 7. That's why I put a bunch of Darksons on my team, because they're cool.
Hello, I'm Claudia Mann.
The only reason I'm even putting up with Field is because of his cool hair. That's about it. Also, another DLC character.
At your command.
She's pretty good. And I put Catherine in here because
Hello, I'm Catherine O'Hara. I look forward.
cause she's got a bit of a Scottish bro. Scottish-Irish, I don't know.
Please, call me Wavy. From today onward, we fight together.
I don't put Noach in there. Because fuck Noach. Or whatever his name is. And then this guy. Haynes. Yeah.
Haynes Salinger, reporting for duty, sir.
We need an overly masculine character. And then Nina.
The name's Nina Strice, and I look forward to a good workout out there.
Sounds kind of like Jen Hale, but I don't think so. So I have a heavy emphasis on shock troopers, if you couldn't have told.
Come back.
But really, there's only one that really matters. And it's Vice. And also Rosie and Edie, but mostly Vice.
To choose from, so keep an eye on that list.
I like Skies of Arcadia.
Oh, and all the
If anything, I call this an unofficial sequel to Skies of Arcadia. Because now this is no longer Welkin's game, this is Vice's game.
The rest of the team you've taken into the field.
Because Vice is the fucking coolest.
Swap out members without the worry of losing the benefit of their experience.
So that's good. In case you're, want to say, ooh, that new character I just got looks really cool.
Work well with.
But no, all your characters level up at the same rate.
Get you started.
So that's beneficial.
Rest as you go.
Which is why and also getting back to Vice, I'm so pissed off that the anime, not the OVA, had the fucking gall to kill Vice.
Come to think,
Oh, those people were
he's
dicks.
heading up Squad 1, isn't he? I wonder if he's off sorting through this stuff now too. I'd better get a move.
Well, too bad Faldio didn't get the coolest guy on his team. He didn't get Vice and Ica on his team. As far as I'm concerned, Faldio has shit luck.
Welcome to your worst nightmare. I'm the guy who's gonna whip you lazy.
And I'm pretty sure this is Nolan North.
Still, I can't work miracles here. No amount of
This is where you spend all your valuable EXP.
I want you all to go out there, kick some imp tail, and then show me what you learned. I will train that experience into something you can actually use. Level you bums up.
It's very useful that all the characters level up at the exact same rate.
Hog all the glory. A squad's a team, and we got no need for stars. You will train as a class and level up by class. Scout level 2, Scout level 3. You get it? When the scouts level up, that means each and every one of them goes up that level. You hear me, maggots? Any of you think he's better than the rest of the team? Go home now!
You are not an individual beautiful snowflake.
Now I'll show you how this whole thing actually works. It ain't complicated. First you go out there and fight, then divvy up that experience here.
By which he means pour it all into Shock Trooper.
You cram into a soldier class, clears a set amount, it'll level up.
And if you level up that character high enough, they'll get potentials, which help out with during combat. It also improves their AP, and their health.
Train all you want. I've got all day.
So if it wasn't obvious, yeah, Shock Trooper. And some Scouts. And some for the Lancers. The 3 classes I use the most. These are the 3 classes that are going to be in most of the shit.
Good work, maggots. You're one level closer to human.
So I put a lot of XP in Shock Troopers. So now all the Lancer characters have a new battle potential. And he'll explain that a little bit more after I finish divvying up all my experience points.
Bite the bullet! No pain, no gain! Good work, maggots! You're one level closer to human. Looks like that should be the new potential out of the Shock Troopers. Looks like that should be the new potential out of the snipers.
Gotta keep them relatively on an even basis, but I put a pretty heavy influence on my Shock Troopers. And I give the Engineers a little bit of XP. Because if they're gonna be the guys who are essentially my healers, I'm gonna need a little bit of health for them. Do a little bit to keep them alive. And now, speaking of which, we also get orders. Basically, during battles, now that Welkin commands his tank, you can use up a command point for Welkin to issue an order. This is basically stat buffs. Like the defense boost that we just got, if Welkin issues it to one of his units, they can take more damage.
You can think of potentials as the natural abilities your soldiers have inside them. Those abilities will form a big part of your strength in the field, so keep them in mind.
Potentials work around the environment and a lot of other extra factors that your characters might be in during battles.
As long as we're talking about it, I'll teach you a classic, a real golden oldie. Orders are special commands you can give out as the squad leader. They can save your tail. It doesn't take a genius to see that leveling up your soldiers is the best way to beef up your squad. The soldiers will get stronger, and you just might unlock new potentials and orders. All that just from me working you sorry bums into the dirt.
Pretty good deal.
I hope you maggots are ready for a real workout the next time I see you here.
So leveling up has the natural benefits associated with it, but there's also a lot more whenever we get to that portion of the game.
Welcome to R&D, man. What can I do you for?
You know, I don't exactly trust a guy whose eyes are constantly closed to be working on the weapons and tanks. That doesn't seem safe.
I knew it! Man, I've heard about you.
And also a guy who's this excited.
Wow! Protecting a tiny life in the middle of all that slaughter? Man! Oh, Lieutenant, you're good people. You get all my respect and then some, bro.
And I'm not sure if you can use, like the word bro is, I don't know if the word bro was used that much back during World War II.
Casey, check it out. It's Lieutenant Gunther. He's the man.
Sorry about him, Lieutenant. He's like this all the time, I'm afraid.
And I'm not sure green hair was a thing during World War II either.
I'm training here as a mechanic.
Oh, and I'm Leon Schmidt, but just call me Leon, bro. I'm your boy.
So, Lieutenant Gunther, what brings you down to R&D?
This is where you spend all your ducats. I believe they're called ducats.
You're on weapons development, making upgraded weapons and equipment.
Yeah, you basically upgrade your weapons, you buy new equipment, and you can even make your tank better.
We can even soup up your tank. research expenses aren't cheap.
With rifles and other firearms, we'll mass-produce new models as they're developed. You won't have to worry about making enough for your squad. We'll outfit them.
The only individual weapons that you can, like, equip to your team, to, like, one member at a time, I think, are the ace weapons. I'm pretty sure those are only for one unit.
Right. You can choose which optional parts you want in the tank equipment section. Come in anytime.
From now on, like, in future updates, I'll skip the whole R&D and the training field stuff from now on, just for the sake of time. It'll be a little surprise for whenever I go into the next mission. Alright, so now it's time to develop weapons. We can pretty much get a brand new weapon for every single class. But first, upgrade those uniforms. Improving defense is a necessity.
Perfect, bro.
You're not going to be able to dodge every single bullet, so it's best to be able to take more. But first, let's go ahead and give our scouts some better weapons. A better improved accuracy. And now our shock troopers. More damage!
Here you go, bro. All done. All set for you, bro.
And trust me, it's not just 4 ranks of weapons. They go down way further, and they also branch out into different paths, depending on what your preference is on weaponry and armor. Nothing new for our grenades just yet. But we do have blast suits. I think those are for the Lancers.
It's done. This one's perfect, bro.
Now it's time to upgrade the Edelweiss. So more defense for right now.
All set for you, bro. It's done.
Give our tanks some more health.
It's done. This one's perfect, bro.
And we can also improve the defense for its treads or its radiator. Yeah, I prioritize the radiator because that's the obvious weak spot.
Here you go, bro. All done.
And optional parts like this go to this little block area. You can only take up so many spots on this particular, on that little panel. And we'll be able to buy all this by the next update. I'll have them all purchased by the next update.
Well, sir, was that helpful? We're working here around the clock to make possible tomorrow what's out of reach today. Come again a little later. We'll do our best to have something useful.
So after every couple of missions, they'll have something new for your
Come
squad.
back soon, bro. I am all fired up to work on stuff for you.
I guess you gotta admire a guy who can have a decent passion for their job. If he's just a little too excited. And we'll move on to the next episode, but first... The headquarters tab is where you spend all your experience and spend all your ducats. And it's a different tab on the menu. You always want to stay up to date with your weapons and equipment, and your units are up to snuff before you take on a new mission. So it's time for a few cutscenes.
Welks.
Hey! Isar looks pretty good in that.
Hey, Ace. How'd your enlistment go? No problems?
I registered as a tank pilot and mechanic. Maintaining and operating the Edelweiss will be my responsibility from now on.
I should hope so. I mean, you're the one who maintained it before.
It's nice that we'll all be on the same squad together.
I mean, we brought our own tank, so of course we're the top dogs around here.
So what are you up to now?
The tank's hangar space is just through here. I was just carrying some Ragnite fuel back.
That Leon guy's really excitable. So I try to stay away from him.
And also for the turret-mounted cannon rounds.
I guess I'm just more used to seeing it in street lamps and medical compounds.
It's a multi-purpose tool, or multi-purpose mineral.
Everything is Ragnite powered these days. That stuff is everywhere.
Apparently not.
Not enough of it for some people, though. It's the source of a lot of conflict.
This is the whole basis for the war.
Say the Empire's in
So clearly there's not enough.
Ragnite in Gallian soil.
Oh, that's right. I had something to give you, Welks.
What's this?
Father's
Flare guns are awesome.
Barn, but I thought you might
It's like you're shooting a fireball.
Another hand-me-down.
I know they're used to, like, send an SOS signal, but dude, getting shot by a flare gun.
It's still serviceable.
I think I saw that in a movie once.
I didn't mean... I just can't believe I'm a tank operator now.
Kind of an upgrade from being a teacher, huh?
I'll do a spot check on the Edelweiss now to make sure
You were
it's
in
ready to
school
go.
net before, like sketching fish, and now you operate a tank.
Alright, we'll get going for now then.
Bit of a step up for you, huh, Welkin?
I'll cut to the chase. Here's your mission. The Great Vassal Bridge was just taken by the Empire. It's a key strategic position.
The Great Vassal Bridge.
So it's time for our first official mission with Squad 7.
It's a major drawbridge crossing
That'll be in the next update.
just outside the capital.
It will not take as long as you think it will.
That bridge is a part of the central transit artery, leading into Randgrease. Our mission is to take it back.
Blow the hell out of those Imperial assholes. Why don't we just blow it up? Blow it up and sink them. Fuck the Imperials. We can swim.
The Empire has been running a blitz, with their shock troops outrunning their defense.
Yeah, shock troopers are a motherfucker on their
Take the
side.
bridge before defensive reinforcements can arrive.
How quaint. The militia holding a little strategy meeting of its own.
It's time for asshole version of John DiMaggio. And he's fat. And he's got a stupid hat.
How long were you planning on hiding out in here, Verrot?
My apologies.
Verrot wears it cool, you wear it stupidly. You and your little mustache.
They're just country moms.
I brought a tank.
It's not like they'll be much help.
I brought a tank, though.
More help, perhaps, than your army unit that couldn't hold the bridge in the first place.
Yeah, suck it.
Hey!
Haha.
Regardless, Vassal remains a critical position. We'll reclaim it immediately.
Well, all good. See that you do.
I do not like Damon. He's kind of an asshole.
Who is that? General Damon, commander of the Central Forces.
He's a shitbird.
Central Forces? That's the army branch the militia was folded into, right?
That's right. They say the general's an aristocrat. He looks down on the common militia.
Wow. So there's assholes on both
Doesn't make any
sides.
sense.
Good to know.
Right. Now that the war's begun, we all need to band together and fight to keep Gallia safe. Who cares at this point whether you're in the army or the militia? It's ridiculous.
Is there a difference? Forgive me for being ignorant, but is there really a difference?
Turn to the mission. We'll begin by taking back the western bank to gain a foothold for reclaiming the bridge. Lieutenant Gunther, I'm assigning Squad 7 to this mission. It's your first maneuver, so be smart.
Yes, Captain.
I brought a tank, Captain. I think I'm pretty smart already.
Stay sharp and be ready to help take back the bridge.
And we will do that on the next update.
On all of you out there. Now move out.
But first, there's something more important. There's something a little important to handle first. And that is the skirmish. Skirmishes are your means of grinding. After every couple of missions, after a certain amount of missions, bam, you get a new skirmish. But first, we have one already. I think there's about 7 or 8 skirmish missions total. However, you gotta be careful with your grinding, because units who die in a skirmish battle are gone for good. So... But fortunately, you can pick between either normal or easy. Oh no, wait, there's 9 skirmish missions at least. I go for normal because I'm used to the skirmish map. This is a good way to rack up experience and ducats. So utilizing this pretty thoroughly is a good way to keep your units well prepared. Again, before each map, I will be doing a bit of grinding to where I'm comfortable that I feel like I can get an A rank on each map. That will be done off-screen, naturally. So you gotta put in your leader units to get some extra CP, but also put in the important units of Ica and Vice. Yes. And also my favorite shock troopers. But also Largo and Jan, because they're the best. And I just throw in Hector in there for shits and giggles. But really, for this first map, I just use one character. For the most part, I use one character, and then I use another one to sweep it up. Can you guess which units I use the most? Care to take a wild guess of who I use the most in this particular skirmish? I wonder if it's Vice. And now it's time to show you why shock troopers are my favorite units, and why Vice is my favorite. Because he does this. He loves it. Vice loves going to war. He's already saved the world once. And he will clear this map. Vice does not give a shit. He will plow through every single Imperial that he sees. Yeah! You just gotta love his enthusiasm. I just keep using him, and as it's shown, Vice's AP goes down pretty quick, considering I've been overusing him. And shock troopers don't really have that much AP to work with to begin with. So he's not going to be able to reach that flag. Fortunately, however, his good buddy Ica has more than enough AP to clear the map. And now potentials become a thing. So now Ica has a pollen allergy. So she loses HP, or her HP goes down a little bit. Not great. It's not great. But again, as long as it's not crippling like during a story mission, it's fine. For little skirmishes like this, especially one as easy as this, not that big of a deal breaker. And also this. Yeah. Blue Rogues, don't fuck with them. We are the Blue Rogues. From now on, this is no longer Squad 7. This is the Blue Rogues. Get rid of that shitty number 7 and that unicorn thing off our crest. From now on, it's Vice's fucking Jolly Roger. Alright. So that'll do it for this particular update. In the next update, we'll deal with the next operation. So until then, thank you so much for watching.